Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all this afternoon. Welcome to the room. It's Monday afternoon, January 6, 2019. Right now, keeping an eye right now on the current market as it continues to push higher after the early rejections that we called out earlier this morning. I see right here a good question coming in. Can you show me what you mean by bullish outside reversals on a 60-minute for the ES? So earlier I talked about it in the room when I mentioned the bullish outside reversals were developing at the time, and that was this morning. During this hour right here, which was the 8 a.m. hour. So anyways, what happened was this bar right here, that's the bar I'm talking about. Let me open it up some more. We're seeing quite a drop right now in crude oil here at the moment. A big flush here, and this is an hour after the RTH close, flushing down, getting into the low mid 6260s. So the candle that I'm talking about is this one right here. It's that one. And this one right here, that one. And what I call a bullish outside reversal would be classified the way that I define it as the low of the bar being below the previous low, and the close of the bar, that bar right there, being above the high, a close up beyond the high. And you can see here, this was huge outside day. The other thing that needs to be there, the criteria that I like, is a multiplier factor. So it needs to be a bar that is bigger than normal. Because what if you have a little tiny bar like this, and then the next bar, is a tiny bit bigger? That's not significant. Maybe it is. But what makes this significant is that the size of the bar is even more significant than average. And you can measure that. Again, you never have to go without measuring it. You can just come down here, double click on the indicator there, and on that indicator right there you drop this down to 1 right there, click OK, and ideally you want a bar that's blue on that bar at least. So if I zoom in now, there it is. So you'll see right here that this is the bar right there. That's it right there, much bigger. When it's blue right there, that means it's greater than 125% of average. So that means it's at least 25% bigger than average. In many cases, this is much bigger than that. In this case, this is much bigger. So that's what I was looking at this morning. When it was developing, price was still below here, but had popped above it. It had just pulled back below it at the moment. Same thing over here. It wasn't outside just yet. It had popped above it, but had come back below it. And so I warned that could be a 60-minute outside reversal. So any pullback on the next bar could be a buy for a continuation the rest of the day. And so it certainly went higher the rest of the session. Very nice indeed. And again, I've been mentioning that I've been paying more attention to the 60-minute charts because they've been playing out very well, and it gives you a nice little day trade that you can kind of work into your approach. Thank you for bearing with me today. Not trying to be on the mic too much here because, again, getting hit by these allergies here in Austin, it's the cedar is just incredibly high right now. I think they said it's like 5 times normal, which this is about as bad as I can remember. They said it's like a smoke cloud over Austin. Let's see. So right now, that was a nice continuation higher the rest of the session. We thought that could be the case. And right now, looking at the current, I'm going to pop this back this way. Looking at the current intraday charts, you can see how it trended higher. Now, on the intraday time frame, when we continued to follow the story along, we knew that these were pinching here, and this was pinching here. That suggested a likely breakout, and then it started to break to the upside and climb R3, and that is indicative of a price discovery phase. That's why I mentioned this morning that we were likely to see a continuation the rest of the day as we push higher, quietly so. or perhaps even go sideways, and it did, sideways and then continued higher. But a very nice continuation overall. And again, the 60-minute chart gave us early clues for that, and that lasted the rest of the session. Right now, crude oil seeing a bit of bearish price action here after retesting 63.38 from below. That's the May FOMC key level. Going to keep an eye on that right there. Let's see. Really quickly here. So, in terms of some of these trades, I am still holding WM. If you recall, WM was a nice entry. Oh, it didn't come up here. Here's WM, was a nice entry here recently at the open. That one came on board Friday morning. Again, the idea was this one could see a nice continuation higher. I mentioned it takes them off the table at 315 and then hold the second half for a continuation even higher. This one's on its way much, much higher. It looks really good right now. So still holding that one. The other one I have right now is Roku. This one nearly got to the target zone today alone. This one's in the money. And it's mostly today after I added back 50% on this day back here. After it came very close to getting my target here at 150, I can still get that target or around there, close to it, if it were to pop up into the 147 half to 148 half zone. So today was very close to getting that. I think any pullback tomorrow morning could be a continuation. So you could still perhaps get the 140 toward 150. This one could be a nice one here. The other one also is Yum. So got some Yum this morning. Again, this was another one that I put on at the close yesterday and got filled this morning on the pullback to the midpoint. And it looks like there's an inside day, a failed low yesterday, softly higher lows, compression, higher value relationship. It looks like it has a good shot to see a big breakout. So we could be looking at a nice continuation toward 106 to 108. So going to hold that and see what happens. If it fails to hold 100 by the end of the day, on any day, I'm out. Now, in terms of a couple of new ideas here, well, this is not new, but this is one we talked about yesterday, CFG. This was a long candidate for yesterday. And today dropped even lower and then pulling back with a nice little rejection. That could be a good go, but, closing kind of close to that midpoint, so I'm not going to do an entry today, but that's one to continue to watch. CG is the other one from yesterday that also looks, no, CG. This one looks really good. I like this one a lot more for an entry right away, or at least some sort of a play here. The 30 in the money 30s look really nice, and then you have the out of the money 35s. But when it comes to something like this, I like the in the money calls much better than the out of money. Sure, you can get the 35 call and perhaps get it there, and but shoot, if time runs out, it's just not a good deal. So I like the 30s here. It's about 225 versus 205 bid ask, so that is a 215 spread there. If it comes back to about, this is a good one. It's not bad. Let's see. I want to see what it's going to look like tomorrow. If this thing pulls back a little bit lower to call it 31.25. That's $1.98. So I'm going to call $1.95 right now. I'm going to put that order in. And then I'm going to make sure it's good till canceled here. So I'm not going to get filled today. But if it pulls back any tomorrow morning, that could be a great entry. So the idea on this one is that it's been trending up. You buy the dip here, you buy the dip there, you buy the dip here, you buy the dip there. Here we are again, inside the trigger zone, inside the pivot range, at the LVN. You're looking for a push toward 34.5. That could be a good way to go. So we'll see if there's an entry here tomorrow morning on that one. Okay. So that's those are a couple there that I liked. There's some more here that I'll be showing off here a little bit at the end. Actually, when we get to the monthly outlook, but on the swing basis here, at least a couple that I wanted to look at was DG, CFG. This HZNP looks pretty good as well. So you can see that this one continues to look very bullish as well, just very similar to the one that we just looked at as CG. This one has, again, support at the PIMA trigger zone and also the pivot range, and looks like it has a good continuation higher. The February expiration, 46 days out, that's a good sweet spot. And you can go in the money 35s right now and be pretty nice for one push higher. So in the money 35s, you could go at 36 and be a little bit cheaper. What if we hit 36 tomorrow? Let's do that. $250. I'm gonna put an entry for $250 on this one. And then I am going to make sure it's good so canceled. So buying the February 35 calls for HZNP, limit at 250. So those are some really good ones right there that I like. There's more that we'll look at, but those are the ones that I wanted to certainly put some sort of orders on for. There's also FTCH. This wasn't bad earlier. Looks like it's one of those I could see an explosive move, but may need a little bit more time for that one. SFM is another one here to keep an eye on. That one has a big rejection tail today, so a good retest entry and go could be had tomorrow. But that's pretty much it. So the two that I'm looking at right now, or that I have orders in for, CG and HZNP, buying the in the money calls, or looking to do that on the open tomorrow. Again, I will be hosting a monthly market outlook later on, but I'm going to go ahead and call it an afternoon on the mic here. I just wanted to come on there and show a couple of the long candidates that I have from a short-term basis, talk about the current positions, and then add those orders. And then here at 3:30 p.m., so in about 40 minutes or so, 30 minutes or so, however long that is, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, we'll get together for the monthly market outlook in the PivotBoss community room. So that's going to be in the community room soon. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today, and I will see you all in the room in a little while. If I don't catch you this afternoon, then I'll shoot the recordings out and see you tomorrow. Take care.